Well, I'm now 67 years into my life, and I've done a lot of weddings in my life. In my 40 years of ministry now, I've probably done 25 or 30 weddings. And in some of those, there was premarital counseling that was involved, which can be very important and pretty significant. There are times that I've wondered that maybe it would be more beneficial, or maybe in addition, would be to sit down a year after the wedding and go back through the premarital counseling and talk about some of the subjects. It's just been my experience that way. You probably are aware that there is a statistic of more than half of all marriages end in divorce. Now, it's a sad fact, but it is a fact. And that's for people, whether they are in the church or out of the church. Half of all marriages end in divorce. And there are some reasons for that. Oftentimes, I have observed, of course, a lot of relationships, a lot of marriages, and determined that oftentimes selfishness is the root, oftentimes the root cause why people end in divorce. Now, it's not always the case, but it is quite often. I would like to share with you some information today. Let me open my computer here real quick. There are some considerations. I want to give you 5 considerations that every couple should talk about and come to some sort of agreement on before they enter into matrimony. And the first would be faith and values. Shared beliefs and moral values shape how a couple approaches life, family, decisions, and conflict. Agreement here sets the spiritual and ethical tone of a marriage. So faith and values, highest priority. Number 2, this might surprise you, finances and stewardship. Money is one of the top causes of marital conflict. Discuss spending habits, debt, saving strategies, giving and tithing, budgeting, and whether accounts will be joint or separate. These are very, very important things to discuss. I can remember one particular couple that I was sitting in counseling with. I knew the woman for many years. The man came into the picture later. I think he maybe was in the military and came into the area this way. And they began to court and decided to marry. And we went through the counseling. And oftentimes in counseling, people's eyes are still a little bit blinded. This is the importance of history and time. In other words, having a courtship that lasts a few years to really get to know a person. And this particular woman, she was very engaged in her life in giving. She gave to missionaries. She gave to missions. She was consistent in the returning of her tithe to the work of God, where she was a part of, she and her family, for many years. But after they got married, the man began to communicate to her that he didn't believe in doing that he was not going to be involved in returning his tithe or their tithe, and they would not be giving to these missionary causes or efforts, but they were going to hold on to their money. This created such a conflict in her personal life, in her spirit, because she had always been a person who was always financially engaged. She did not have a lot of means, but this was her life commitment, and personality. And so going into marriage, it did not become apparent until later on that they were not on the same page. And this is something that a couple should always discuss going into a relationship that is going to be long-term. So, finances and stewardship. Number 3, family and children. This includes whether to have children, parenting styles, the roles and responsibilities, boundaries, and in-laws, and the vision for family life. These are things that are often not discussed until later on after children are born or not born. And these are important conversations that every young couple or every couple that are looking at coming together in matrimony and committing lives one to another. Number 4, communication and conflict resolution. Understanding how each person communicates, processes stress, resolves disagreements is vital. Healthy conflict resolution are keys to long-term unity. And now, number 5, I just want to touch on life purpose and priorities. I can remember when I was courting my wife, I was 24, she was 22 when we got married. We didn't have a long courtship, but both of us had a foundation in our life at that time, and that was we were both serving the Lord. She was committed to the church that she was a part of here in Puyallup. I was committed to the church that I was a part of in Yakima and had been for some time. And so this common foundation that we were going to serve the Lord, that we were building our lives upon the Word of God, and we were faithful in our stewardship and tithing to the local assembly. And so the foundation of our relationships, we had both come from broken homes, so we knew that experience. But going in, we had a common foundation. And so this is very, very important. Life purpose and priorities. This includes career goals, ministry or mission involvement, lifestyle expectations, where to live, how time will be spent. A shared vision brings alignment and reduces future friction. So I just want to bring these 5 things to your attention at the outset. We will have much more discussion on these things independently, but faith and values, finances and stewardship, family and children, communication and conflict resolution, and then life, purpose, and priorities. I am posting this on a new YouTube channel that I have established, which I call Coach Me for Life. I have a few other channels: Coach Me for Ministry, Coach Me for Business, Coach Me for Leadership, and now this one, Coach Me for Life. And I will occasionally and periodically be posting videos to this channel for your benefit. Thank you for taking the time to view this video and listen. Maybe you can like it or share it and try to get more exposure to more people. Thank you again for taking the time.